So the last part of this project is to make the hearts, and we're going to make 3 hearts. I'm making the first in the same color thread as the headband, and then I'm going to make 2 in a lighter pink that are a nice accent color, and you could use any colors you wanted for this. I'm just doing this for Valentine's Day, so that's why. I am going to start with a slip knot, same as before. Draw up my slip knot, and you'll notice I'm leaving a pretty long tail on here. That's because I'm going to be using it to sew onto the headband, and you can cut off any excess. We're going to chain 5, and then we're going to be double crocheting into the first chain of this, and this is going to create an adjustable loop. There's a number of ways to do this if you're working in a round for a hat or for a bag. There's what's called a magic loop, but this is kind of the easiest way to do it, especially when you're starting out. And you can see that this loop is kind of going to loosen up as we work, and that's totally fine because when we get to the end, we're going to be able to pull and tighten it right up in the center, and then we'll use that to sew it on so it won't loosen again. So I've got 1, 2, 3. We're going to do 11 double crochets in here. So this is 4. And you're going to continue to 11. Okay, so this is number 11. And that's opened up quite a bit, and that's totally fine. And what we're going to do is just slip stitch back into the top of that first chain. And that's going to create our first round. And then you're just going to pull on that center piece, and that's going to tighten it up. And that's why we start with, 4 or 5 stitches to begin, because if you were to use more, it's going to give you a little more working space, but when you go to pull it together, it's not necessarily going to make a nice tight round like that. It might have, bunches or lumps. So now we're going to move forward with creating the shape of the heart. So to create the shape, we're going to begin with a chain 1. And then we're going to do 3 single crochets in this first chain that we're in. So to do a single crochet, you're going to insert your hook, draw up, and then go through the 2. Same thing, insert, draw up, through the 2, insert, draw up, and through the 2. That's 3. Now we're going to single crochet in the next 2 chains. So 1 and 2. The next one's going to be what's called a half double. So you're going to yarn over like you would for a double crochet, insert your hook and draw up, and then you're going to come through all 3 loops at the same time. So that's your half double. Now we're going to do 2 double crochets in each of the next 2 stitches. There's 1 and 2 in the first stitch, and 1 and 2, oops, in the second stitch. Now I'm going to chain 2, and then we're going to slip stitch in the next. Bless you, baby. Bless you. So this is going to be the first, kind of see how it's shaping up here. So you've got your point here, it's coming up and around, forming the beginning of the heart. Now we're going to chain another 2. And you're going to go backwards, double crochet 2 times in each of the next 2 chains. Double crochet in the next one. The next will be a half double. So again, you're going to yarn over, insert, draw up, and then come through all 3 at once. And then your next 2 are single crochets. So you're going to insert, draw up, and come through the 2, insert, draw up, and come through the 2. And then we're just going to attach to the bottom here with a slip stitch. And then draw your yarn through so you'll have a nice long tail, and that will be the other end that you sew with it. Tighten both ends. You can form it with your fingers a little bit. There's 1 heart. You're going to do that 2 more times. I'm going to do it with a lighter pink. You can do it with whatever color you want. So now I have my 3 hearts. I have 2 light pink, 1 medium pink to match the band, and I'm going to use my yarn needle to affix these to my headband. So we're going to work on the wrong side because you want these to tie on the back. And I just want to fold this in half so I can kind of see placement-wise where I want it to be. So I'm going to want one to be kind of right at the top, and then the next below it, and the next below that, so that they're like this. So I'm going to start with the one toward the center, and I'm going to hold it where I want it, and I'm going to flip this over, and I'm just going to fish for this center piece of yarn and pull that through, and then pull the bottom one through as well. And then I'm going to thread this onto my needle. And if I just tied these two, it would be too loose. The heart would move around a lot, and I don't want that. So I'm actually going to take the needle and go through above and just draw up a little piece of this to affix it better. And then come down below and just tie it into the headband. And then I'm going to take these 2 ends and knot them. Very simple, and we'll do that with each of the 3 hearts. And cut off the ends. So there's the first one. Place the second where I want it. And I'm going to kind of overlap them a little bit. And again, I'm going to draw up that center strand. Draw up the bottom one. I may be able to get it better with my fingers than the needle. Thread it through. And you can do the same thing with yarn as you would with thread, kind of wet the end of it if you need to get it through the needle. And I'm going to come up here and draw it just through to secure it. Run my needle through and then come down near the original. And knot these together. You're going to do the same thing with your 3rd heart, and if you would like to see what the finished product looks like, or what my finished product looks like, you can visit my blog. It's bkays.com, so that's B as in boy, KAYES.com, and I'll be adding more projects as well, so definitely follow the blog so that you can see what's coming up. Thank you.